Today, I will be working on this study based on a photo I took of my lovely wife on New Year's. Wasn't this past New Year's, it was from a few years ago, but really liked how it came out and wanted to see what I can do with it. While doing this, I will be discussing the topic of social media.
So, social media, what happened? You were the chosen one. You were supposed to make us all feel connected. You were the saving grace to all artists who struggled to find eyeballs and give meaning to our creations. Did you know that a study by Microsoft revealed that the average attention span has dropped from 12 seconds in the Y2K to a mere 8 seconds? For comparison, that's 1 second shorter than the almighty goldfish who can clock in an impressive 8-second attention span. Don't worry though, we still got the golden retrievers beat, although they are way more happier than you are. We have it all: plumbing, fast food, and an unprecedented connection to the world in the form of the internet. Yet, as we grow more connected, it seems that connection rings hollow, as over 70% of social media users are reporting more feelings of loneliness. For artists who already personally and deeply invest into their creations, a question arises. What happens when the enshittification of a platform that once served as a place to share, connect, and grow becomes the number one source of anxiety and disconnection? Where we once looked to connect, we now compare. Where we once found community, there is only algorithms. The feelings of comparison, wasted time, and loss of community are all simply side effects of the systematic design and evolution of modern social media, made to prioritize engagement metrics over genuine human interaction, all for the sake of the bottom dollar. By now, we've all mostly heard of enshittification, and if you're not familiar, the term was coined by author and activist Cory Doctorow, where he describes a predictable life cycle of tech platforms. Quote, "Here is how platforms die. First, they're good to their users, then they abuse their users to make things better for their business customers. Finally, they abuse those business customers to claw back all the value for themselves. Then they die." The whole process essentially achieves a state of captive users with no constraints. Users find it difficult to leave because it has become so ingrained in their lifestyle, yet the platform faces few repercussions for prioritizing profit over user experiences. You most likely see and experience this exact phenomenon today. Think of how convenient Amazon has become even after raising prices all around, how Meta has basically made Facebook and IG essential for businesses while collecting literally all the data and reducing features that help those businesses. Even streaming services who once looked to dethrone cable TV have basically become just as shitty and expensive. Yet abandoning any of these platforms means making huge alterations in how we live or go about our daily lives. After locking in all the users and either buying out competition or just straight up taking over, then selling all that yummy user data to the highest bidder, which effectively locks in those relying on the data to run their businesses. These platforms then wring out every last dollar, thus killing the platform as a whole before moving on to the next money-making machine. The profound effects of this systematic decay of services leaves creatives who rely on the platforms for visibility, community, and income high and dry and hoping that things will be fixed, even though we all know things will never be the same again. All this points to the creative community looking desperately for the next best alternative and hoping that it won't be the same this next time around. On top of all this, AI and its little friend, the dead internet theory. Reports are coming out that up to 90% of what you see on social media platforms will be AI generated in some shape or form. With the rise of AI influencers, AI generated articles, and oh yeah, AI generated art, the internet is looking like a lovely place to be in the coming future. Okay, so I covered how the good old days where social media was a community platform with the potential to democratize art and connect creators with a global audience are long gone. As platforms prioritize monetization, the algorithmic push for attention gets shifted towards paid content, and organic growth is stunted before it can ever truly begin, killing true virality. This pay-to-play system and an ever-changing, mysterious algorithm has creators chasing a white rabbit down Wonderland. Except instead of fantastical creatures and nonsense scenarios that spark the imagination, it's content paid for by the highest bidder that's pushed into your eyeholes. Imagination be damned. The focus has gone from taking time to foster genuine communities to rapid-fire consumption of entertainment, made to keep our tiny attention spans distracted long enough to not realize we should have been, doing something productive. This constant demand to feed the algorithm runs pretty counterintuitive to how most artists actually work. We're forced to create new content ideas day after day, slowly taking time away from the real work until eventually hitting the wall and creating burnout. All in all, the overall state of things has created possibly the most hostile environment artists have experienced in modern times. Our ability to achieve visibility, grow authentic communities, monetize our craft, and the protections on our intellectual property have all been systematically stripped down to leave us with scraps to fight over and seemingly nowhere to turn. Well, that's all fine and dandy, but WTF does any of this mean? Where do we go from here? There are other platforms, I suppose, such as Kara, Mastodon, and Blue Sky to turn to. But let's be real, go out right now to your local spot and ask a handful of people if they know what any of these even are. I mean, if you're particularly hip, then I suppose your whole peer group is down with any of those newer platforms. But let's be honest here, maybe Blue Sky? Maybe? Kara's been making waves as more and more artists flock to the platform to get away from the likes of IG and DeviantArt. But aside from artists themselves, are all your other followers also engaging in that platform? Maybe the more savvy art enthusiasts know about it, but again, not your average person. Not that it's a bad thing. In fact, it has the potential to only attract art buyers, but that's another topic for another discussion. Other options include the very obvious TikTok, whose explosion in popularity was a great way, and in some respects still is, for up-and-coming creatives to get that viral push they need. However, it's been shown that the community built around this platform are becoming more and more shallow, and in some cases a lot of the art drama is starting to creep over from Twitter or X. Whatever, a lot of that toxic drama is starting to show up on TikTok as well. Couple that with TikTok algorithms pushing the need for constant content, and you have a recipe for burnout. And then there's YouTube. I mean, I'm willing to bet that you're probably on it right now. I gotta be honest, YouTube has been pushing small creators to me more and more lately, and it's seemingly veering away from the Mr. Beastification. That sounds weird when I say it out loud. What I'm trying to say is that slower media seems to be a thing again on YouTube. It's not all sunshine and rainbows over on the Google servers, though, as YouTube is also pretty heavy on the AI slop, and their algorithms are probably the most opaque out of all the platforms. I mean, I'm trying my hand in it, and it's going. We'll see, I guess? We're kind of stuck with niche, up-and-coming platforms that may or may not stick in the long run. With that said, have any of you heard of Cosmos? It's a Pinterest alternative. I've jumped ship to it ever since Pinterest went AI happy and went on a rampage deleting random content, which is a shame because it's probably the platform on which I easily had the biggest following by far. Side tangent, as a testament to me not being able to monetize literally anything, I peaked at about 150k followers and had absolutely no idea what to do with that, and it now sits at a measly 75k, so take that as a sign that I probably don't know what I'm talking about ever. Cosmos is a promising little Pinterest alternative with some hardcore vibes. They've omitted any features that resemble likes, hearts, etc. in order to combat this enchitification, but have unfortunately still allowed some AI content to seep in. Look, I know it's inevitable. I'm only hoping they'll eventually require AI content to be labeled as such. That's all I'm asking. All in all, where does that leave us? Well, I guess it leaves us at somewhat of a compromise. If you're looking to grow your art business or community, your best bet is honestly to go to where the audience is, and that's going to take a little digging. I also believe that each platform, both big and small, has an audience worth seeking out, and you don't have to be on all of them at once. Pick one or two that you really want to devote your time to and dig in deep. Back before I deleted my IG account, I was actually seeing a lot of growth through in-person live events. Unfortunately, due to outside forces, I was unable to continue attending, and couple that with my crash out arc and deleting all of my socials, my following obviously suffered immensely. Although I'm still unable to presently attend live events, I have started participating online through platforms like Blue Sky and Reddit? Yes, Reddit. Simultaneously scary and helpful and as bipolar as ever, but it's been working. Blue Sky is somewhat of a slow burn for me, which is why I'm doing the YouTube thing. The point is, that you pick a platform, start reaching out to that community and engage. Join or start a Discord server, hop on a group or whatever, mingle, mix it up. I found collaboration really helps with growth as well, and joining challenges and overall giving tips to those who are looking can really go a long way in building a network. Also, create a portfolio. Whether that's making a website using free, easy site builders like Linktree, card.co, which is what I use, or having a Ko-Fi account. Ko-Fi? Ko-fi? Anything that you can point people towards to see the best of what you got. This day and age, it's more about building a presence everywhere you are and leading all that attention back to your portfolio. So again, portfolio, everyone, portfolio. So, can social media be saved? Yes and no. The big companies are obviously not going to change until every last drop of profit has been wrung out of it. Then they'll pull a Tumblr and just pass that problem on to somebody else. Sorry, Tumblr, you were my first love, but you know what you are. The smaller platforms are still in the beginning phases but have an uphill battle ahead of them. I wouldn't count them out though, and I definitely think they're worth a try. The current solution I see is not to rely too heavily on any one platform anymore, at least not in the traditional sense. We're going to have to leverage their strengths to find those who care and kind of make a hot pot community of our own. And on top of all that, we'll also have to be able to control our own urges to not get discouraged by the billion-dollar time suck that is social media. Look, we're artists, creatives. We're used to the suck. But you know what doesn't suck? Liking and subscribing. If you're a fellow maker of things, comment down below and share yourself to the world. If you're not, say hi anyways, or shout out a favorite small-time creator of your own and I'll check it out and hey, maybe somebody else will too. See you on the next one.